Good morning, everyone, and we're getting started today with today's show. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for dropping in for today's show. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for coming by and watching us today. Today we are focused on the restaurant business. My CBH network has a great network spreading across the United States. On building restaurants and giving you the opportunity to get into the restaurant business an easier route than having to wait and get all the money together and then try to put the pieces together to make your food business a reality. We have prepared this easier path so that any one of you with great talent and you have some great ideas can realize your restaurant dreams. And we have this the same thing can be done by anyone. Yes, I wish I owned a restaurant. I wish you could get the money that a restaurant makes, right? You want to get into the business, but maybe you don't even know how to cook, like somebody I know. I'm talking about myself, obviously. But yeah, you can make money from the restaurant business without even owning a restaurant. And we've made this possible with this program. It's fantastic. I mean, you don't have the risk, you don't have the outlay that you would have to have when you think about owning a restaurant or opening a restaurant. Try that. And we all know, listen, food sells. It's almost like sex. Not that sex sells, but yeah, I guess so. I mean, people, when you see the nice girl next to the car, they attract the eyes. Even Madison Avenue knows that, right? So, yeah, and food, everyone needs to eat. And more people are eating out or bringing food in to avoid the kitchen at night after a hard day's work. So, yes, restaurant business is a fantastic business. And now it's available to anybody who's watching this right now and is smart about things. So this is your opportunity to get into that. You can go to this URL and you can learn all about it. I do the whole presentation at this URL, give you the details, show you how you're making money with this opportunity. So you have to look at, if you're interested in earning money from the restaurant business without going into a restaurant business, you need to look at this. And you can imagine on a Friday night, Saturday night, how a restaurant, a fast food restaurant, takeout or delivery, right? How those phones are ringing off the hook. Think about your Chinese place, Think about that, the phone ringing the way it does, how busy it gets. And if you can make a few dollars every time that phone rings, how much money would you be making just over the weekend? We're not including during the week. Just over the weekend. Just think about that. This is the opportunity you have, and you'll learn about when you go to that URL. Otherwise, if you're interested in owning your own business, opening your own restaurant in the future, but it's a daunting enterprise for you, even financially, this is the way to start, because that money that's coming in, you can already start making restaurant money, building up what you need to get yourself started, but also, and this is key, having us helping you to get things together. So you can't beat that. This is a win-win deal for you. So take a look at that while, after this program today. What we're going to talk about today is we're focusing on restaurant business, and we're going to look at how other people are going about restaurant thing. So let's take a look here on screen. A very interesting article that came out. I did a search on Google search for an article for us today, and we see that even there's so much money that is to be made. Think about this. There's so much money to be made in the food business that an airline, the ones who operate airplanes, they have started opening up restaurants. Now, for an airline to start a restaurant brand, that means a lot. It means that the food business, there's money to be made. There's great amount of territory, because you can think, well, there's so many restaurants already. What are my chances? There's so much territory that an airline has decided to take its airline food into the restaurant business. So come with me. Let's look at that and think about what that really actually means for you today. So let me get this out on this here. I have to make some arrangements for my little camera. Yeah, I can see what the problem is with that. Okay, wait a minute. Let me just fix your guys' camera there. Alrighty, and we'll do that. Get you guys going down there. All right, so take a look at this article with me here. This article is CNN Business, the 2019-12-3 business section, and Air Asia new restaurant index.html. This airline is opening a restaurant that only serves plain food. And I like the way they, the way that sounds, plain food. It's like plain. You would think, but actually their food isn't that plain, and that's the idea. It says that out of the many repulsive things about air travel, airline food probably ranks high, right? But not for AirAsia, apparently. Asia's largest low-cost carrier is betting people love its food so much that it opened its first restaurant on Monday, offering the same menu it sells on flights. Okay, so right off the bat, you see that it doesn't take much to bring out an idea. You know, you don't have to have this spectacular menu with hundreds of items and things like this and that and desserts and all that. For you to have a great idea, and in fact a winning idea for a restaurant. Okay, here we have an airline that's raking in the bucks, transporting people around the world. They're making money. These airlines are not like, they're not, it's not a business that someone without money and that's not making any money is going to get into. So these people are making their money. They're making money, and so they find that their little recipe, their plain food, is good enough, and the restaurant business is lucrative enough for them to go and venture into the restaurant business. They're opening up their own restaurants. Okay, so a lot of you guys out there, you have some great ideas. You got some recipe you got from your mother or from your grandmother's or kind of family type of recipe. You guys are sitting on a gold mine. You're sitting on a gold mine. And I know, I understand that sometimes we're not given all the opportunities that could help us get on the way to great success and financial freedom. But this is it. You're complaining you don't have an opportunity. This is your opportunity. So after this program, go and check out the URL and learn about the program that we have. It's going to help you establish you in your own business, the restaurant business in particular. AirAsia, based in Malaysia, said it plans to open more than 100 restaurants globally. Let me blow that up so you guys can see it. 100 restaurants globally. So they got the idea. They got the big picture here. This is the big picture. How would you like to have the ability to open 100 restaurants? Because you can figure, most of you think that opening one restaurant, that'll make things different. You can make a living. I mean, there's chefs making 6 and 7 figures from one restaurant alone. Now, and we showed you that in a previous broadcast, previous episode where we featured the high high profit restaurants in the USA. So we showed you that. We showed you one location restaurant making millions of dollars a year. Okay, so you can imagine what the take home money is with that is. Here we have an airline that's planning to open 100 restaurants globally. What would you say if I told you that you're able to open 100 restaurants with us right here in the US easily? What would you say? You don't believe it. Well, if you look at the video at our URL, you'll see as we go along in this broadcast, you will see exactly. Well, not exactly. You guys who are already in the restaurant business can copy. You need us for it. But the whole point is that you understand that working with us, bringing your idea with us, and working with us, we can have you up and running in your first restaurant and expand easily throughout all the 50 states in the United States, all continentally and into Hawaii and Puerto Rico, and have your restaurant be successful in each and every one of those areas. That's what we're able to deliver. But we can't do it with everybody. You got to get in. You have to get this in and get going. You have to be join this group, which is very limited, very limited. So you have to get in now, okay? So that this is your opportunity. It's literally your opportunity. If someone in your city beats you to this restaurant opportunity, you'll again, your dreams have to wait till whenever. Who knows? But this is someone's opportunity right now in your city to have this happen to you, and it should be you. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't leave it for someone else. They're going to open 100 or more restaurants globally. The quick service restaurant's first locations in a mall in Kuala Lumpur. It's called Santan, and meaning coconut milk in Malay, which is the same branding AirAsia uses in its in-flight menus. Of course, they're using that familiarity already to gain its customer base. And by the looks of it, these people eat. Look at that. You see that there? You see that chicken in there? There's chicken. There's beans. There's some other, I guess, mushroomy or bacon type of thing here on the side, whatever that is. There's an egg here. There's a cucumber, it looks like over there. That's pretty. Boy, that's some meal they're serving on that airplane, and it's supposed to be a low cost airline too. Low cost. So that's like the equivalent of you riding in JetBlue or Sprint, or what's the other, Frontier, some other come and flap your arms so we can fly airline. Low cost, very low cost. And these guys are opening restaurants. Now they're making money. The entrees cost around $3. $3 and include local delicacies such as chicken rice and the airline signature pack Nasser's nasi lemak dish, a rice dish with a chili sauce. This is probably what you see here. That's a chili sauce right there on the top. Locally sourced coffee, teas, and desserts are also on the menu. So as you can see here, it's not a big deal to have a restaurant idea. Basically, you need, like I just said, an idea. You need an idea, and then you need, obviously, facility. Why is this airline able to bring out this restaurant idea? A very plain idea. The relationship intended. It's because it has backing. It has its backing. It probably has network already in all of these cities. It's probably cities where they have an airline presence. Wouldn't doubt it at all. And so obviously they're utilizing their own network to make these restaurants a reality. Again, the idea of networking to establish multiple sites for a business, in this case, the restaurant business. If you've seen any of my broadcasts and our business packages, you know that we use networking very heavily. One of the main features of our business model and the support that we provide business people, the entrepreneurs that join with us, is in fact this idea of networking. It makes things a lot easier, especially for expansion purposes. Once we have a successful location, then it's easy for us to duplicate the same thing in all the locations where we have network presence. And that's basically what it's all about. This is why getting involved in this today, getting yourself started with us today, is of paramount importance, because it secures for you not just your local restaurant dream, if having and owning a restaurant is a dream of yours, but it also secures the opportunity for you to expand into all our market areas. Plain and simple. Those of you who would who don't have a restaurant idea to in your mind, but you would love to make the restaurant money in your pocket, this is also a great opportunity for you. And it's actually the competition to those who have a restaurant idea, because actually someone who's just interested in making the money, they will be able to get the license, and the one who has the dream for the restaurant, since you're waiting so long, you've lost that opportunity. and that's that. So this is not, it's just not a waiting game. You don't want to wait on this. You have, you have a dream of owning a restaurant yourself. You want to have this help and this opportunity for network expansion. You need to act on this right away, because someone else who's just interested in the money, they're not interested in opening a restaurant or expanding any restaurant. They don't know how to cook for beans. They're just interested in making money from the restaurant business. They're going to take this and they're going to beat you to it and lock you out of your dream. So, and vice versa. You're just in it for the money. You need to hurry up and get this now before the guy who actually wants to build his dream restaurant chain beats you to your money bag at this point. So this is what you're up against. The race is on. We have seen significant appetite for our in-flight menu offerings beyond our flights across the region, and this is our answer to that demand. So basically, what they're saying there is that they already have a market. They're opening with market already in place. People who have tried the food, who enjoy the food in flight. These are the first customers, and I'm sure that these customers are going to be their referral base. From these customers are going to bring other people. Going to talk about, you can have this meal. I've had it on the flights. Now we can go down into Main Street and we can have the meal. I enjoy that meal so much that they go and bring their friends and whatnot. It's a sure win, absolutely, a winning deal for them, because they have already the networking, and they have recognition already. They have a following. Air Asia hopes its Asian Pacific food will attract people over its Western competitors, and they're talking about the restaurants that we know about here, right? It's also part of the company's broader plan to become a lifestyle brand. See, so that's what they're trying to do. And this has repercussions, of course, for their own main business, which is the airplane business, the transportation, because what's going to happen as well is, as more and more people try the food, they will then have a preference of using their air transportation, their airplanes, reserving tickets for their travel through their airline, just because of the food. They like the food, so they're making great strategy. They're utilizing great strategy to securing their first and main business. Remember that. This is a big teaching. This is a great idea, and they're showing some great marketing savvy in opening relational type of businesses and services that not only reach out to their previous customers or their steady customers, but also to new customers, and locks them in, if you will, through the familiarities, through appreciation, quality, product, and services into their main business route, and that is their airline business. People who maybe were never took their airline, or are just beginning to travel for relationship and career or whatever have you, or vacationing, they are going to say, let me get let me and probably they'll probably have promotions for the airlines in the restaurants themselves, probably give offer a discount. That's it. It's a killer. It's really a great idea. It's things that we utilize in and implement in our business networks, and all of our business networks, since we're all tied in together. Our networks help each other businesses and business type to promote their business, to share clientele, and to help each other grow. This is they're using a very good strategy, and it's exactly what we're doing in our business lineup. So that is it's great to see big businesses doing what we're already doing here at our networks. Malaysia and neighboring Southeastern Asian countries are increasingly attracting American restaurants. Okay, so that's the other thing. Our restaurants will not only stay here in the U.S., because we're starting in the U.S. with our network, but we're slowly expanding into European and international areas. And therefore, your brand, if you're interested in building a brand, your brand will be able to expand just with the ease that these guys are doing here at AirAsia. Your restaurant idea can also be easily spread into other foreign countries where we have our networks growing and being developed just as easily. So again, this is the opportunity you have if you act quickly and act today on moving on this information. I mean, here you have Domino's Pizza plans to have 300 locations in Malaysia by next year. Okay, they're moving in quick. You have KFC has 700 restaurants and growing. And McDonald's, of course, recently announced a $300 million investment in the region to grow to more than 400 restaurants. 400 restaurants. That's a big amount of restaurants. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Okay, so the restaurant business is big. We're not talking about anymore the local, restaurant on the corner anymore. When you're thinking about building, you have a restaurant idea, you have a food idea, you got to be thinking globally because the need is global. It's no longer just down in Main Street. It's a global need. And how is it that a regular restaurant is ever going to be able to access this global network, even just the USA network? How can you get into that? I'm not talking about the TV network, of course. I'm talking about the business networking all across the United States and establishing your brand. That's a lot of effort. That's a lot to do when you're focused on making quality food. So most restaurants are not able going to not will not be able to do that unless you become a franchise, and then you just concentrate on franchising instead of doing the restaurant itself. So most of you talented folks out there with really great food, you won't be able to do this unless you get started with our network. That's how you are able to do it because our network handles that for you. All you have to do is do what you've always been doing and let the network and use our network to expand your brand across the country and globally. And that's all that you have to worry about. And that is the easiest path for you to have the success of McDonald's. Can you imagine having McDonald's success without being a franchise? Think about this. McDonald's is so successful. It's only because it's doing franchising, right? Because it has other people duplicating what they've done from their headquarters. Think about it. They have to use the franchise, in other words, to spread the brand. All they're doing is spreading their brand. Other people are making profits. The headquarters makes its profit off the top, but they're sharing all those profits. Every McDonald's franchise owner, these guys are $1 million owners. They're making millions of dollars per year. But if you're able to spread your restaurants throughout our network, you got 50, 100. You grow internationally to 400 to 1,000 restaurants. And you're able to do that without franchising. Think about it. That means that you own all of those restaurants. That means that at the end of the week, all the profit comes to your pocket. Is that amazing? That McDonald's can't do that. McDonald's, a lot of the profit has to stay with each owner, each franchise. They brought into a franchise. But through our network, you will still be the owner of hundreds of restaurants. See that? That's the difference. You don't have to franchise. You don't have to just settle for franchise fees and making just a little bit off the top from each patty that you sold. You're able to make the full profit from each and every single restaurant location. That is the opportunity you have and that we're talking about in our food business network. And that's it's only one. There's only one person listening to this in your city that can have this opportunity. And it should be for you. So click the button, join it. Look at the video when this one's over and get involved. AirAsia is also the first airline to bring its in-house food offerings to the ground. Typically, airlines attract high-end chefs from restaurants to craft in-flight menus, the typical situation. For example, JetBlue partnered with New York-based Saxon and Perot for its meals. British Airways offers from regional retailer Marks and Spencer. So these are just a few ideas of what's going on, what they're doing, and that's a great thing that that AirAsia has capitalized on. They're really making a great effort here. Let me just switch up here for you guys. One moment, we lost that. One moment, let me just switch over if I can. It looks like there was okay, there we go. So this is it's a great concept that you've just seen implemented. This is not what I'm doing. This is not, oh, this is this another one of Rosato's ideas. No, this is not just another one of Rosato's ideas. This is another one of Rosato's ideas that is actually being done and is successful in a global manner. That's what this is. This is proof that my ideas are at the top of the line and they're advanced. We're ahead of the game. Okay, we have the networks, we have the concepts that will make you a restaurateur and with multiple plethora of locations in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of investment with the greatest amount of support and promotion and word of mouth and all of those good things that would take years and years and years for any individual to even develop for one location that they would be able after whatever would happen. You're waiting for some big money to come in, a rich uncle, a death in the family, a good insurance policy. You're waiting for lotto to hit. You're waiting for some retirement package, or you're waiting for a court case or whatever, waiting for a big amount of money to come your way for you to realize your dream. You don't need to wait. It's here. You just need to move on it before someone else beats you to it. Okay, so go and see the video now as we say goodbye to you for this segment today. Take a look at this URL. You have it right there in front of you. Go there, look at the video, and do not delay. Get started on your restaurant business and your restaurant money, your fortune today. Take care. Thanks for watching.